Welcome to this week's episode of Beyond This, where we have honest conversations about life, living, death, and the unseen threads that tie it all together. If we haven't met before, my name is Matilda, and I am a professional psychic medium, psychic advisor, and I have spent a lot of time in recent years building an amazing community of like-minded people. In this week's episode, we are going to be talking about what it takes to make ourselves empowered when the world around us want us to be small. You don't have to be a psychic medium to see the way that people's behavior has changed over recent years. Last year, I made a handful of videos that didn't particularly get a lot of traction, but I want to talk about those because they are the important crux of 2025. One of those videos was the fear of democracy, and if people didn't change their mindset and empower themselves, that democracy would be under threat. The other one was around authenticity, and that 2025 would be the year of learning to be authentic to yourself and align your actions with your authenticity. And I also talked at length at the need to build community within your like-minded people during 2025, how important that support will be. And here we are in the middle of the year, watching all of that play out. Now, I've been really, really careful about the information that I have given on social media since the 2024 election. I am under no illusion. I can put my tinfoil hat on for you if you like, but I do not believe that Donald Trump won that election, irrespective of my predictions, because if you listen to all of my predictions added up, it does make sense. But I am under no illusion that Donald Trump won that election by fair means. We are seeing the cruelty of his administration play out. The aim of that administration is really to wipe out those that are vulnerable. I wish I could give it to you with lube, but that is not what is happening. Okay? We're not getting the easy bite into it. What I do want to talk about, and this is a global thing, this isn't just with the United States, is this handing over your power through simple statements, handing over your power by mindset, and handing over your power by rolling over and saying, nothing's ever going to change. Now, as I said, I've been really careful about what I've brought to social media. I have talked in depth about a lot of things on my Patreon and on this podcast. If I talk about things in depth on social media, I get shadow banned. If I am shadow banned, it has no other effect other than I help less people. I don't get on the FYP. Social media is not an income for me. There is no creator fund in Australia. And I'm fine by that because I believe that somebody that does my job, that should always be authentic and do good and not harm, should not have a monetary figure in front of them to sensationalize content. I am dead against people like mediums being part of a creator fund. Hate me if you want, hate me if you are a medium and part of the creator fund. If you live by your ethics and don't sensationalize things, then that's okay. But I want to talk about this need to hand power over by actions to people. I made one of my first real political predictions this weekend. And I got a download over the weekend about, as I've always explained, I get things retrospectively fed to me. And what I got were those phone calls from 2020 telling people to find votes for him, make it happen, make it happen. And I was shown that there is going to be very similar leaks of phone calls, videos, text messages, emails coming out that will implicate the inner circle of Donald Trump. We've seen the statements. We've heard what's been said. It just has to come to a head. What I have been very careful about is not putting a timeline onto these actions. People are holding on to celebrities, to influencers, to mediums, to psychics, to those in the public view, and putting the tell us something good, tell us when. I will not put a timeline on this. I have never put a timeline on this. It will happen, but we have to let go of the it. I see, when will it happen? I see mediums, this 4 a.m. club now. I've got nothing against any individual in the 4 a.m. club. I don't know any of them well enough. I don't know their work well enough. But the constant making of videos talking about it is disempowering every single person that holds on to those words. It is disempowering every single person who has already put their empowerment over to hoping that other people are going to do the right thing. Other people are going to say the right thing. This is the year of authenticity and finding your own power. And if you don't, then you are going to be left behind. I cannot make it any clearer than that. The reality of this is it all started 20-something years ago. Might be a bit earlier than that, where we saw the obsession with reality TV. When from reality TV, we became influencers, and from influencers became celebrities going onto social media, where people are shown the beauty and the opulence, and they become attached to how someone else is living. And many people that don't know how to sit in their consciousness and don't know how to empower themselves live vicariously through what other people achieve. And then it turns a corner. And those that do not have control of their consciousness and do not have control of who they are want to make other people feel smaller. We're not talking about necessarily the celebrities, the influencers, the politicians, the reality TV stars. We're talking about those watching that are so unhappy and so disempowered that they become irregulated and the nastiness comes out. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm scrolling social media and I see something that could be really happy, or somebody making a change in their life, or they've bought a new baby home, or they're showing off their new wardrobe, or they've built something in their house, I think, good on them. Isn't that amazing that they've empowered themselves to do it? And then there's the people that will find a fault, that will go out of their way to try and make someone feel small. I wouldn't have chosen that color. It's horrible. Why are you wearing that dress? It makes you look fat. You shouldn't hold your child like that. You shouldn't put the cot like that. Oh, it's nice for some to be able to go on holiday. The negativity breeds. And that is a true sign that somebody is incredibly unhappy with themselves. I put a video up this weekend. I did start telling you that, but I got sidetracked. I put a video up and I talked about what I was shown. And the comments ranged from, can't wait, got the popcorn out. It's obvious. And and there was too many of them to count. Nothing will happen. This is just life. He's never been held accountable. And you're right, he hasn't been held accountable. But the fact that you are putting so much emphasis on him and his followers that obviously don't give a fuck about anyone worries me. And I'm obviously not talking to those that take the time to tune into this podcast. But it is overwhelming. It is 6 months in. We are 6 months into watching a reality TV star become president of the United States through fraudulent means for the second time in our lives. That is disempowering. That is disappointing. And we hope that there is an underground organization keeping score and gathering evidence. And when the time is right, I am under no illusion that they will strike. And they will strike methodically and all at once. Do I have a timing on that? No, I do not. Do I trust my guides in that? Yes, I do. I will not give people false hope. This could go on for another 6 to 12 months. And in the meantime, you guys need to come out the other end powerful and knowing that you made it. I know that there are many people that listen to this podcast that are of minority groups, and I will never feed you false hope because that is not my job. If I feed you false hope, I am taking away your power. I must empower you. That is my job. Please be aware of the propaganda that your media, the media worldwide, are feeding people. Many of it is to put fear in you, and that fear is to disempower you. We have talked about this endlessly over on my Patreon. I have made previous podcast episodes about it. 95% of what you read in the normal media is propaganda. It is set to make you feel fearful. And when you are fearful, you are vulnerable. Those that panic are the most vulnerable. What people are doing is wrong. What is happening in the United States is wrong, but much of it will not come to fruition. If we believe the propaganda and the stories that are told to us, then we are no better than those that are part of the cult. They are kept in a silo and fed the same information time and time again. I really want you to start empowering yourselves. If you can, and you must spend time on social media, try and be a positive force where you are making positive comments and you are encouraging people. The job right now, it feels globally, is to make people feel as if they have no choices, that they are small. Like the individuals that you work with that will make comments to make you feel bad about yourself. This is what we encounter every day from many, many people. It's just on a bigger scale. I'm going to go into some tips and tricks to empower yourself now. And before I talk about this week's predictions, I am going to also do a protection meditation that you can keep and use when you need it. because protection meditations or protection practices will help you, and you can do them as many times as you need every single day. Remember that we must build community, that we must be authentic to ourselves. That means working on our alignment with our actions. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go out and protest. If you feel you're capable and you would like to do that, that's amazing. Just make sure you keep yourself safe. But I have seen a spiral since this bill was signed, and half the bill's not going to happen. It's already had some injunctions put against it. A lot of what you see put out there, the threats, the executive orders, it's not going to happen. It is just to have you on the back foot. Let's talk about what you can do to empower yourself. I really didn't want to go into a tangent today, but I just am seeing people spiral and I really want it to stop. There's lots happening, and I do feel that it's time to really, if you are continually watching social media, reading articles from news stations that you know are going to feed you propaganda, constantly worrying about what you have no control over, you are not going to make it. And I want you to come through this with a positive mindset and be proud of yourselves. So now I've gone off on a tangent. We're going to work on your boundaries and how to keep yourself safe in the coming months, because that is what the most important thing is. Setting clear boundaries. Now, it's really important to set clear boundaries, not only with other people, but with yourself. Many people think that by saying no to others is the only boundary you need to keep. Setting a time limit on social media, being careful of what you watch, being careful where your energy goes, being careful about your time watching the news, social media. Give yourself a time limit to worry about things. Say, I'm going to be on social media for half an hour between this time, and then I'm going to turn it off. Be kind to yourself. Okay, there's a lot of unkindness in this world. There are a lot of people trying to make you smaller. The smaller you are, the more manageable you are. It's what's happening in everyday life as well as governments worldwide. Challenge inner criticism and replace it with self-compassion. Empowerment grows when your internal voice becomes your ally and not your enemy. You can say things like, I am learning, I am worthy, and I am enough. They are really going to help you. Just a little bit of a chant when you are feeling overwhelmed. Set a timer for it to do it every couple of hours. Those things are really going to empower you. Know what you stand for. Write down your core values and what matters most to you, and align your decisions with those values to build integrity and inner strength. Living in alignment is a radical act of self-trust. If you know what you really align with, then one of the biggest things I did was go through my social media and delete all the people that I followed that I realized just pissed me off. I blocked so many mediums on social media that really don't align with my values. I am very careful about what I watch, and what I watch brings me joy. Take aligned action, even if it is small. Confidence comes from doing. Choose one small action daily that reflects your truth, whether it's speaking up, applying for something, or resting when you need to. Empowerment lives in motion, not perfection. Learning to connect with your intuition is another way to empower yourself. I ran a course 2 weeks ago, and there will be another one up on my website sometime this week for August, which is how to listen to your guides and your intuition. Spend quiet time listening inward. Through meditation, journaling, or being in nature, your inner knowing is a source of wisdom and power. You are your own guide before anyone else. Surround yourself with uplifting people. Limit time with those who drain you or doubt you. Seek those who celebrate you. Reflect your potential and challenge you to grow. Your circle impacts your strength. I have had some of the most beautiful feedback about our Patreon community in the last 2 weeks. I spoke about this last week. It just blew my mind. Those people that took the time to write an email to me and tell me the impact that our community on Patreon has, and how I get on there once or twice a week. I haven't had time this week, but I get on there and we laugh. It's not about giving out predictions. It's not about giving out answers. It's about connecting, about knowing that we're there for each other and talking to each other honestly and truthfully. And yes, grey sweatpants and beavers come up quite often, and it can become quite unhinged, but we really do have fun and we really do celebrate each other. Reclaim your narrative. Rewrite the stories you've told yourself. If you've said, I'm too much, I always messed up, I have to earn love, tell the story where you rise again and again. Rewrite history. Because when you rewrite the story, you let go of the fear of the impact that story used to have on you. Rewrite it and work towards it. I talked about this in the manifesting course that I did this week, where 3 years ago, I had no idea how I was going to buy a house. I wanted to buy a house. I have an apartment in the city that, sitting there at negative equity. There's nothing I can do with it apart from rent it out. And I'm very lucky to have that, very blessed, but it isn't where I want to spend my time. I live in the country and I had my heart set on buying a cottage. And did I know how it was going to happen? I had to manifest it and put my faith in the universe. Along that way, I started seeing pieces of furniture that do not fit in my current home, which is a new build. It's cottage furniture. I kept seeing it. And when I needed certain pieces of furniture, I chose furniture that would fit into a cottage because that is what I was manifesting. In 2 weeks, I move into my cottage that was built in 1890. And I've spent 3 years working towards that. Magic doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen. Educate yourself. Knowledge is power, especially about your rights, your history, money, spirituality, healing. Understanding creates a choice. Choice creates power. And many people want to take your ability to make a choice away from you. I'm not just talking about government. I'm talking about everyday people. When they sit in judgment and you sit in fear, you fear having choice. Educate yourself. Make those choices. Express yourself and express your truth. Whether it's in art, conversation, writing, or advocacy, use your voice, your story, your pain, and joy matter. Expression is liberation. And make peace with your past. Empowerment doesn't mean forgetting it. It means realizing the power it holds over you. Forgive it, not for them, but so you're no longer anchored to it. Freedom is power reclaimed. So many people are talking about the PTSD of Trump's last administration. Throw in COVID, and that's another thing that people keep referring back to. It was hard, it was difficult, it was traumatic. Nobody can take that away. But when we keep looking backwards, we cannot go forwards. And I want you all to know how powerful you can be as a collective. The upshot is that people can only make you feel small if you don't empower yourself. It does take work. It does take action. And I say this time and time again, there are no magic wands. But think carefully who you empower with your future. People are constantly putting in my comments about, tell me something good, tell me something positive. Tell me that this is going to be fixed. Tell me the answer. I'm not here to give you the answers. I'm here to give you the bird's eye view that Spirit give me, to give you the outcomes, the actions, things that will happen. But if I tell you the how and the why, even if Spirit gave it to me, I'm taking away your power. And you really need to know how powerful you are. Now, before I move on to doing a protection exercise for you, I am going to give a big shout out to our latest Patreon members. Patreon, for those of you that don't know, is a membership that allows me a lot more freedom. Now, the reason I like to use it for building our community is it allows me to speak freely. I upload multiple videos, podcasts, depending on your level of membership. I'm on the chats quite often. There's other people on the chats exchanging things. We have a food chat, and we have a new manifestation one for people that have done the recent course. But that community pays for this podcast. It means you don't have to listen to ads during the podcast, and they make it happen. Producing a podcast every week costs money, and without our Patreon supporters, we would have no podcast. So a massive big shout out. If you are interested in Patreon, the link is in my show notes. But we're going to start off with the amazing Marcella, who has joined for 12 months, Stephen Blanco, who has joined, Amy Bitzer, Kerry Fitcher, Deanne Williams. We have Chris. We have Pint Jar. I'm sorry. Oh, obviously, I haven't had a pint. Diane C., Flor Martinez, Connie Gonwick, Melissa J.G., Jess Winter, Catherine V., Hampton, Rosie Cardoza. We have a Carlotta. We have Jen C. We have Tat T. And we have KC. Welcome, every single one of you. Thank you very much for your support. Don't forget to check out the collections. There was a recent post that Alicia put up about where you can find everything. In the collections, you will find the nice, juicy discounts for all of my readings and online courses. There is currently availability for September mediumship and psychic readings. I think there's probably about 6 or 7 spots left for September. There is availability in my large mediumship group that is happening on, I think it's the 22nd of July, where I have a group, around 100 people are in that group. It's 50 Australian dollars. There is opportunity for a reading. It is very much spirit led. You get to see how I work. You get to ask your spiritual questions. It is all on my website for those that are interested. So mediummatilda.com is where you can find me. But thank you to all our new Patreon members. And please introduce yourselves in the chat. We are a friendly bunch, if a little bit unhinged at times. Many people have asked me to do a quick protection exercise so they feel protected. There are people that are empathetic. I don't like saying that a lot of people are empaths, because when we say we're an empath, we again are handing our power over to the energies of others, and nobody wants that. It's icky walking around in people's energy. So if you are empathetic, if you are feeling overwhelmed, if you've got an arsehole of a boss or a cranky mother-in-law, this exercise can help you. It's a 3-minute exercise. It's very easy to do. I don't suggest you do it whilst driving the car. So if you're driving your car right now, skip this next little bit, or just don't pay attention or do the exercise, but come back to it later. Okay, begin by closing your eyes and taking a deep breath in and out. Again, in and out. Let your shoulders drop and let your body soften. Now imagine a soft golden light above your head. This light is calm, it's wise, and it's powerful. It begins to pour down through the top of your head, moving through your body like warm sunlight. It travels down your neck, your shoulders, your chest, down through your arms, your spine, your hips, and your legs, all the way to your feet. As this light moves through, feel it clearing out anything heavy, anything tense, or anything that isn't yours. Let it carry anything that isn't yours or doesn't belong to you out of your body and down into the earth. Release it. You don't need to hold it anymore. Now see this golden light expanding around you, forming a sphere or shield of energy. It stretches out about an arm's length in every direction. This is your protective field. Only love, truth, and light can pass through. Everything else is reflected away with grace. Take a moment to feel the strength of this field. Say silently or out loud, I am safe. I am protected. I am grounded in my truth. Only love may enter my space. Take one more deep breath. And when you are ready, gently open your eyes. For those of you on Patreon, I will record that into the Patreon over the next couple of days, along with some grounding techniques and some other protection exercises that will help you over these coming months. Empowering, protecting, and living authentically is how we must see out the rest of 2025. Now, here's the bit that everyone's been waiting for. I purposely do not give a large amount of information on my social media when it comes to predictions. It's not that I want to be vague. It's not that I try and be vague. It's that I have to be very aware of the different people that are watching it, those that can panic, those that can't, etc., etc. Also, I don't want to get shadow banned because the more information I give, I get shadow banned. And to be perfectly honest, I have stayed at the same following count since November. Big shock. As I said, it doesn't particularly bother me, but it can be frustrating because it just is. You know, when you grow to 165,000 followers in 12 months and then the following 6 months it stays the same, you know that you are shadow banned and that your information isn't getting out there. So I am very careful about what I do and do not say on social media. I also don't want to give false hope to people. I also don't want to panic people. But the world is a shit show and I like to have people prepared. So the predictions that I have seen is large earthquakes scatter the globe, Japan, Australia, Central and Southern America. These are not new predictions, by the way. These are predictions that were included in my 2025 predictions. Japan saw a large amount of 5.0. I do think there's a bigger one coming. Central and South America, I don't have exact locations. I am worried about San Diego. If you are in that area, I can't give you timing. Be prepared. If you live in an earthquake-prone zone, have your go bag ready. Them's the rules. And as far as Australia, I've spoken about the Northern Territory, probably Darwin, and also the Newcastle area, that both make me feel as if they could have significant for Australia. Now, for us in Australia, a significant is probably below a 5, and I'm not seeing mass damage at this point. Okay? The other prediction that I had on my social media is large strikes hit multiple nations as workers revolt. I am seeing a general strike in both the UK and the United States. If that happens all at once, I am not sure. I see public transport strikes, especially in the United Kingdom, hospital strikes and nursing strikes, but I also see government workers going on strike in the United States, and it feels like there may be national strikes or everyone doesn't go to work on one day. That's how I feel like they're going to call certain days to have a revolt against the government. Not going to get you exactly what you want. It does cause a bit of an issue, but I am just giving it as I am shown it. Court decisions favour general public. This has already happened today. There are more decisions to come. There have been decisions made within courts that much of or some of the bill that was signed is unconstitutional, and they have put temporary stays on them, and there's going to be more and more of those. Protests are going to increase globally. I see protests for different reasons. I think we're going to hear about protests in Russia for some reason. The United States, that's an obvious one, but I feel like it's going to increase. But it's also going to increase on the prospect of violence because Trump is not going to like it. The United Kingdom, I see more political protests and protests against sort of aimed in London. I don't know what's going on in central London, but it feels like against the London Council, London government, rather than a national thing. But I do want to say that I have a feeling that the UK will see some unrest and riots as we go into August that will be triggered by an event that happens. It's not something that's on board yet. It's something that's going to come in. Assassination attempts globally. We saw 2 of those today already. There were 2 deaths in Russia, one of a CEO and one of a minister. Both are assassinations. They have not been classed as such. One fell out a window and the other one was found with a gunshot. There are more to come. I think that there is going to be an assassination attempt on somebody within the inner cabinet of Trump. And the last time I saw assassination attempts was when the attempts against the Democrats was made, and I feel like there will be another one against a Democrat as we go to later in the year, probably around September. More plain. People said, I couldn't read this. Okay, I'm not very good at making videos. For a medium, I make a mean video. I saw more problems on planes. There is no specific area, mainly Boeing. I've already predicted that Boeing is likely to go into receivership, or somebody is going to buy, or they are going to run out of money due to aircraft crashes. I don't know the reasoning behind this other than lack of maintenance. I do feel like there's going to be a couple of near misses, and there will be another accident, which I feel is connected either with India, Indonesia, or Thailand, around that area. Breakthrough in gene therapy. Again, this one has already happened. It was announced on the 7th. I made this video 3 days ago. I think I made it on the 4th or the 3rd, my time. It was announced on the 7th that gene therapy is now being able to be used to rescue hearing and help people to hear again. So that one has already come out. I do feel like there's another one connected to children. The one that I was shown was a connection to gene therapy working for children that suffer or get a virus that attacks their muscles. That's the sort of thing that I was shown. Whistleblowers increase. We are already seeing that happen. I think there are more to come. There are people in the inner circle of Trump and his people that are going to want to tell it as it is. They will have sold information. There will be emails come out. There will be recordings come out. We will see this. I have said really end of August, early September. I'm really hoping that Spirit are right on their timing with that. Weather increases, water floods, fires globally. That again was an increase on my 2025 predictions. We saw Texas happen. We have seen North Carolina happen. There are 2 more in the United States to happen. I do think New Jersey and that area or close to New Jersey, I'm being pointed sort of East Coast, is going to have some flash flooding in the next month. And I'm also being shown flooding in Florida, which I'm hoping is not connected to a hurricane, but it very well may be. There is other flash flooding happening around the globe. I've had it here where I am. There has been flash flooding happening in Sydney. Remember, there are places outside of the United States that experience the weather of 2025 is what I've been warning you about, why I've been warning you to prepare. Nobody is immune. If anyone else asks me, do you see it happening in this place or that place? I am going to scream because this is global. And it's not just this year. This is going to become the new normal. This is the warning that global warming is real. Explosions and volcanic eruptions. Explosions, I do see more the end to some of this ceasefire. I do feel like there is going to be explosions in the United States. Again, East Coast. I've warned about Washington. I have warned about New York. I have seen it happening in various different places, but I do think that Iran will probably have another attack on it anytime soon, or they will retaliate. Volcanic eruptions, again, happening right now. And there's more to come. I do think that there's one in Japan, there's one in Thailand, and I think that Japan is likely to see a significant-ish earthquake in the next couple of weeks. But that is what is on board. A lot of these are extensions of 2025 predictions. A worldwide trafficking ring uncovered, which is big news. I do think it might actually be connected to the Epstein list. And I think that their announcement that the Epstein list doesn't exist is bullshit. There could well be a connection to that list and information that is unearthed about trafficking that is still going on. And that is a little bit of good news. Do I think the list exists? Yes, I do. Do I think they're keeping it quiet for a reason? Of course I do. Do I think it's partly going to be the undoing of Trump? Little by little, bit by bit, enough rope is what I have always said. Right. I hope today's episode wasn't too much for you. I hope you could take some peace and understanding and really empower yourself to the best of your ability. You're all fabulous. You tune in to hear what I, guided by my guides, bring to you every single week. Now it's time to put it all into action. Move forward, knowing that you are powerful, you are deserving, you are worthy, and that nobody has the right to make you feel small. That's on them. That's not on you. Lots of love, and I'll talk to you next week. Take care.